won't let me go live like this. No, I can't. How do I forgot how to go live, or how to force it this way. We're live. But we've got an issue with the gimbal because I forgot. You have to go. I don't remember how to get it in to keep it this way. Oh, I know. Yes, I do know. Hang on, guys. I gotta turn. Let me think. It's getting crazy on me. I gotta turn it. Let's take this off a minute. Let me turn the gimbal off before it goes nuts. Hopefully you can hold it there for just a minute.
Okay. Sorry about that. Yep. Well, you're fine. Having some technical issues here. Not that that's anything new. We seem to always have technical issues. So, here in about 10 minutes, we've got a man whose name is Barry Brown, who is a master pumpkin carver. And we're going to watch him carve a pumpkin. That right there is one of them that he has done. White details. And then over here we have Stacy trying desperately to figure out the gimbal.
Turn that way. Alright. Pop her back on her. We should be good now. I think.
We'll see.
Hold on. Sorry for getting a free gimbal right here. It's still trying to. I turned it and it's still trying to go back to this.
Try again. You knew you got to go on rides. I need to just go. I need to stick with Prism because it lets me go on the portrait. Kind of late for that right at the moment, but Yeah, just a tad bit.
so it needs to go that way, but then which way does it need to be?
You can't lock this part.
It needs to stay there. Hold on. Where's the... No,
Sorry, guys.
it needs to be like that.
We went live from a different way this time, and it will not allow us to do it in the landscape mode. So we're trying to figure out how to get the gimbal to stay in portrait.
And I know, I just can't remember. They actually have them here in some of the gift shops. They have them. If like, I know, like there's one. Where are we at here a minute? Back around that way. There's. No, you're okay. You're fine. No, he's curious where this came from. I'm trying to tell him, and I just It's in one of the toy gift shops. You get to look at toys while you go and.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah. So this thing is usually when we put the phone on it, it holds the phone stable for us. But it's given me some trouble because I'm trying to get it in the mode that I need it in, to where it's up and down, but I can't quite figure that out. You think you might know? You think you know?
Well, it might be something that might happen.
Yeah. Yeah, this here, like usually if you use the app, this will make it zoom in and out. But there's something with all these locks up here and I just cannot remember how I'm supposed to do it. I can put it in one way, but I can't get it to go the other way. What is your name, by the way? Miles. Hi, Miles.
He's all right.
This thing is virtually indestructible. If I can't break it, nobody can.
He's gonna break it. There's a button on it.
Is it stronger than a boulder?
Hey.
Is it stronger than what?
Is it stronger than a boulder?
Stronger than a boat? That I don't know.
No, I said boulder.
Oh, boulder? That, you know, probably not. I think if we dropped a boulder on it, I think this would smash into a million pieces. It's like this, but it won't lock
So
here.
wait,
Whoa, 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 whoa.
that doesn't lock to
Well,
there?
it does, but it doesn't. That's not. It's got to go the other way. It'll lock there.
All right, then turn this.
I don't think. You can try it.
Oh, we got people in here.
Hello. Sorry, guys. We are working on.
But why
So-
is there shining?
Huh?
Why is there a shining?
So the light on, there's a light back over there. That part there, I think, is just part of the. Hey guys, so we have a young man here. Is it okay if he's on? We're like live streaming. Is it okay if he's okay? Because he keeps putting his head around there. So we have a young man helping us out here. His name is Miles. We are at Silver Dollar City, and there's another one. So Scott, see, this still isn't right. This still isn't right. So we typically go live from another platform that lets me put the phone in landscape mode. This one is making us do portrait, and the gimbal is not cooperating very much because it's like I can't turn it, Scott, like this. It won't let me go up, it won't let me go down. So this still isn't right.
Yeah. Well, it
So-
looks like it shows. Oh no, it's showing it sideways.
Yeah,
Okay,
so when
see
I
what you're
started
saying.
it was sideways.
Yeah.
Hi, Miles. So we are getting ready. We are at Silver Dollar City. We're getting ready to watch a man
Or a pumpkin?
do carve pumpkins. You've got it right, Miles.
My dad told me.
Your dad told you?
It's a man by the name of Barry Brown, who's on USA Today. He's a master pumpkin carver.
I'm still frustrated with the gimbal. So hi guys, hi Jasmine, hi Karen, hi, is it Corn Philip?
Volpe, 194.
Sorry if I'm like totally butchering your name there. And I think we're just gonna have to deal with this because I don't know why.
There might be a wire tool that's shut down.
You think so?
Yeah.
Can you go ahead and Google it real quick for me? I know there's an amazing video out there.
What am I Googling?
Yeah.
Give me.
So do a ride and find our
You
friends.
want to talk for a minute here?
I don't know if I want to talk, but I will.
I know where you
So-
might find
Hey,
them.
say bye.
We have 4 minutes. Bye. Thanks for the
Hi,
help.
Miles.
We got about 4 more minutes here, so we are trying desperately to get this thing fixed so that everything will be smooth and it won't be real rocky and feel like you're on some kind of roller coaster ride. Try not to make everyone sick. But anyway, we're at Silver Dollar City in Branson, Missouri, for their Harvest Festival, which actually ends tomorrow. Tomorrow is the last day of the
is it?
Harvest Festival. Yes,
Or
it goes through.
Sunday?
It said October 26th is said through October 26th. So we got here just in time to get this.
It was so close the way I was doing it. It's still not, I had the right idea.
So do you know what to do now?
No,
Okay, well then.
I'm still, I mean, I can't hear it. Can you go ahead and take the phone back off there?
Okay.
Let me.
Here. Help me there with it. Okay, there. I don't want to drop it and create problems. Okay. She thinks she has figured it out.
It's not.
Maybe.
It's not staying. Oh, yeah. Okay, put the phone on there.
Okay, hang on.
I forgot that part. The phone has to be on there for it to balance. Okay.
Got it? Okay.
And then I've got to control. Oh, you know what? Here, let's take it back out again.
Oh,
Almost lost the phone.
now we're stuck looking at me. I am so sorry.
It's up.
Then nobody wants to see that.
There's a thing up there.
Oh no, I don't want to stop. Somewhere. Oh, there it is. Okay.
That's the way I had
We usually don't have this many problems starting out. We apologize. This is things got a little weird because we went with a different platform today
it.
instead
Yeah,
of
see if I do
going
that again.
usually through Prism. Okay, hang on. Let's see.
Wait,
if
I think we got it.
try to keep my fingers out.
Uh-oh. What'd you do?
Did you block the camera?
There we go.
Okay, you got it?
Or maybe two, because we were there.
It's still not grabbing it. Well, at least I can control it here a little better this way, but it's still not grabbing it.
It's still not balancing.
Nope. All right, guys. We're gonna watch the pumpkin carver. Then I don't know if you guys can even hear me. We forgot the microphones too. They're back in St. Louis, so we're gonna watch the pumpkin carver, and then I think we're gonna switch over to go back to what's it called?
Prism.
Because I don't like this platform at all.
It'll still show up on YouTube. It's just
Yeah,
that we
we'll
use
still
some
be
of the
there.
browsers.
If you subscribe, you'll find us. But we thank you guys for coming and checking us out. I apologize for all the issues we're having here. We are obviously a young channel starting out. We have our issues we're learning through. So we're getting there. We're getting there. And here's our pumpkin carver. So I'm gonna shush up and we'll watch him, and then we're gonna end on this platform. I hope I'm not covering the microphone.
Hello, everybody. What you got there? A little puppy dog? Oh, my puppy dog's great. Little kitty cats and puppy dogs. Well, thank you guys all for coming. It's so nice to see you out here. Isn't it a perfect time of day? And look, you can see the pumpkins starting to glow and the trees starting to get their colors on. There's a little monkey in the tree right over there. It's amazing. It's like the jungle out here. Well, thanks again. My name is Barry Brown. I'm from Denver, Colorado. When I was a little kid, oh, Colorado? Where are you from? Go Wildcats. That's right. I went to high school in Greeley, graduated college in Greeley, University of Northern Colorado, got my degree in voice and theater. So naturally, I'm a pumpkin carver. Yeah. Well, I moved to Denver to start doing shows. And my second professional show, I earned $10 a show. Watch out, student loans. You know? So I was looking for something extra to do, you might imagine. And I came into a grocery store and saw the first ever pumpkin carving kit. There never had been one before. You know, those little saws and drills and patterns? It was so cool because I could do more detail than I could with my mom's paring knife. You know, that's all I had before. And they had a contest. So for this starving actor, that was pretty important because national grand prize, they would give away $1,000. That's a lot of shows. So I figured I'd try for that. I carved a pumpkin, sent in a picture, I won a prize, and guess where I learned the pumpkin carving kit came from? Denver, Colorado. Can you believe that? My own backyard. So the next year I got a job as an entertainer on a cruise ship. Has anyone been on a cruise before? Oh, a lot of people, yeah. Did you bring your carving tools with you? You left those at home? Well, I brought mine. It was the fall part of the year. You know, in Florida, they sell pumpkins for $14 a piece. That's like a show and a half. But I needed that pumpkin, so I carved it up in my cabin, took a picture with my film camera. It was the 1900s after all. And I sent that picture into the contest, and they awarded that pumpkin National Grand Prize. How about that, you guys? $1,000. And boy, my car was happy because it broke down in Florida, and I needed that money to fix it in order to get back home. They say the Lord works in mischievous ways. Well, back in Denver, I was doing a show, and a couple came up after, and they said, "Hey, you're our pumpkin guy." That was Mr. and Mrs. Carving Kit. They live in Denver, and they just happened to come to my show. It just so happened. My mom says that's code for it's a God thing. So they said, "Well, why don't you come to work for us?" I thought that was a great idea. So I went to work for the first ever pumpkin carving kit company in their basement. My desk was in their laundry room. That's how we started out. But 8 years later, we grew the company until we covered a floor and a half of a downtown Denver high-rise building. And they were flying me all over the country to carve pumpkins for the Today Show in New York and the Tonight Show in California, and all different kinds of television shows and talk shows and news programs, even Monday Night Football. I carved pumpkins for movies too. Who's ever seen The Santa Claus with Tim Allen? Yeah? Do you recall that pumpkin carving scene? Well, that was a fast answer. No. That's because they cut my scene from the movie. Harumph. But I did carve the pumpkins for the movie Hocus Pocus with Bette Midler. So if you see that first movie and you notice any carved pumpkins, I'm your guy. Pretty fun. Well, let's get right into it. I want to share with you guys the 3 secrets of pumpkin carving. Are you ready? Thank you both. That was a rousing response. All right, there. That's the first secret. Did you get it? Carve in your lap. Somebody said, yep, gold star. Carve in your lap. That's the best secret of pumpkin carving. It always makes me nervous watching somebody chase a rolly thing around a table with a knife in their hands. So if you carve in your lap, you control what the pumpkin does. It's the safest way to carve. Carve in your lap. Let's say that together. Carve in your lap. Good job. Now, when you open up your pumpkins, how do you do it? She says the top. There was a lady the other day, she goes, like this. Like, well, we're going to do a safer way to carve than that. I like to keep the top on because I think it's pretty. It's more convenient to have just one piece. I put my artwork anywhere I want to on the pumpkin. You can tell in my booth, there's hardly any pumpkin left by the time I get done carving. It's all light. And I think it helps the pumpkin last a little bit longer to leave that top on. So I open the pumpkin from the bottom. Yep. Oh, where's my little bottom here? Okay. What I do is I cut half the circle, and then I cut a straight line just past the blossom end. See, the blossom part right there is really thick and woody, so I don't want to carve through that. That's too hard. So I go on the outside of the blossom end, and then I push this piece inside. Then I carve around the rest of the circle, and I pull that piece out. If you can imagine if I carved around the whole thing and pushed it in, and then tried to get it out with my hand, I think I'd be a monkey punky and get my hand stuck in there. But this half and half way, it just comes right out. That's pretty fun. Now, it looks like my assistants have been here. Did you watch my assistants? Were they here when I was gone? My little chipmunks like to come and eat up those pumpkin seeds that I put underneath my chair. So it's a fun little situation. Okay, now that we have the pumpkin open, what do you guys use to clean out your pumpkins? A lot of people say spoon, yeah? Who said hand? Seriously, who goes and just with their hand starts pulling out strings? Really? That's amazing. Who does not love to put their hand inside a pumpkin? Well, there's a lot of people, wow. Well, this is the tool that I use. It's called a scraper scoop. It's based off an old ice cream scoop. We shorten the handle, flatten the top, and there's this little crispy edge right there. It fits all the way inside the pumpkin, and that's really important because I'm really scraping. I'm cleaning that pumpkin. Ooh, the winds of fall have come, huh? That feels pretty good. So you're really cleaning it out. You're not just pulling out some strings, but you're really cleaning that pumpkin. See, this is what it looks like when it's cleaned out. Really nice and clean. So you're really getting all that stuff inside out because it decomposes really quickly. And if you leave it in the pumpkin, even just a little bit, it's going to decompose the pumpkin quickly. The other thing the scraper scoop is good for is to thin down the wall of the pumpkin. Has anybody ever carved a really thick pumpkin? Has that been any fun? It's pretty hard. Well, the scraper scoop is great to thin down the wall of the pumpkin. Let's say this is the face of the pumpkin. I just thin that part down to 1 inch. Usually I get about a basketball-sized pumpkin, a little bit size of bigger than this. Thin that wall down to 1 inch, and it carves really well. My saws work really well. The patterns go on the pumpkins really well. It's a really good thickness. When I'm carving with kids, I thin the wall down to 1/2 inch because their little bird arms are going to try really hard to carve, and they're going to be hard on the tools. And if it's thick and hard to carve, they're going to quit, and that's no fun. So if I hold the pumpkin in my lap when I carve with kids, I thin the wall down to 1 inch, and then we saw together. I put my hands down here, they put their hands up here, and we saw together to get the second secret of pumpkin carving really well. The second secret is this: straight up and down. That's the secret. See, the saws are strong when they're straight up and down, but they're bendy when they're sideways. They're just little thin pieces of metal, and they will break if you break them. It's true. Whoop, whoop.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, they're just little thin pieces of metal. So, but if you saw straight up and down, that's the strongest and therefore safest way to carve. So the next step after you clean out your pumpkin and thin it down is to get a pattern. You cut off all the paper you don't need, put some paper around, put some tape around the sides, and then you kind of start in the middle and you go like that with your paper. If you started here and you taped it all around, there'd be this big bubble of paper. And that's hard to fold and that messes up your artwork. But if you just fold it down like that, and there'll be just little folds in between the tape, that'll help your artwork conform to the pumpkin. Okay, the train's coming by. It's gonna two times. I'm gonna see if I can do it at the right time. Just a little too soon, huh? Okay, this tool is called a transfer tool. It's a little metal pokey thing. You know, I skipped a little section about talking about the saws. These tools are made by my friend, Mr. Pumpkin Carving Kit. He sold his company and they started manufacturing overseas. So then he said, now I'm gonna make the tools that I always wanted to use. So that's what these tools are. They're all made in America. These saw blades are made in Missouri. They're coated with Teflon for maximum lubricity. That means they're slick. And then these long, strong handles are made in Colorado, in Lafayette, just a few miles from where I grew up. So, really good tools. Now this tool has a metal pokey thing. It's called a transfer tool. In the grocery store kits, you get little plastic bendy things. But this is a metal pokey thing. It works really well, but only responsible people get to use it. Like 3- and 4-year-olds. It's actually developed at a school called the Montessori School. They give it to little kids and they do a craft called poke art. And that's what we do. We poke through the paper into the skin of the pumpkin, and that transfers the design onto the pumpkin. For little kids, it helps them with their manual dexterity and their hand-eye coordination. So actually, it's a developmental tool for kids. And if you're as responsible as a 3-year-old, you get to use this tool too. Okay, now I pop the tape off with the back of my saw because I'm going to carefully save my pattern to refer back to when I'm carving. Sometimes it's a little hard to decipher what those holes are doing on my pumpkin, hard to follow a little bit. That's why I have my pattern next to me so I don't cut through anything I don't want to cut through. But here is a secret. If you take some flour and you shake it on your pumpkin and then you rub it into those holes, you fill the darkness with light. You fill up those little dark transfer holes with flour, they turn white, and now you can see them better. It's a really fun transformation. Okay, who remembers the first secret of pumpkin carving? Carve in your lap. Let's say that together. Carve in your lap. The second secret goes like this: straight up and down. Let's say it together. Straight up and down. But what if my pattern's over here? Just rotate the pumpkin because I'm in control of what the pumpkin does. It's not going to roll around. And whatever I'm carving, I want to be at the very top of the pumpkin. Whatever I'm carving, I call it the North Pole, so that I can always saw straight up and down. I'm always moving the pumpkin till I get the next place into the North Pole. Then I saw straight up and down. Carefully insert your saw. I mean, you can't just go, hi-ya, unless you have 10,000 hours of pumpkin carving experience and can call yourself a pumpkin nerd. I mean, a master pumpkin carver. Yeah, okay. Carefully insert your saw. Give it some practice up and downs before you start sawing. That straight up and down feel. See how gentle my fingers and my wrist and my arm are? That also gets the Teflon slick for maximum lubrosity. Very good. Now I'm just going to saw forward, sawing dot to dot. Boy, when it's thin, it's just like butter to carve through. If it looks like this, that means you're trying too hard or your pumpkin's too thick. And it's just a little thin piece of metal. It will break if you break it, so you want to be very gentle. If it looks like this, that means you might bend your saw and you're only using one tooth on that saw. That's not how saws work. So, straight up and down, let all those teeth take a bite. I love that pumpkin carving can help me practice my skills of patience and gentleness, and even a skill called finishing. Those things are really good to work on, good skills to develop as we're carving pumpkins. Now, once you finish a piece of carving, you might have the impulse to push it in with your saw. That's not good for the saw, it's just a little thin piece of metal. And besides, the carvings kind of angle in, so if you push a big thing through a little thing, that's not going to work. So, you put your hand inside and you wiggle that piece up and down to make sure it's carved all the way through. If it doesn't wiggle, it's not ready yet. If you need to carve that little stuck place, you recarve it, then you push it up and out with your finger. Aww, I heart pumpkin. And look how thin that is. That is so good for a kid to carve. They won't have a problem getting through that, okay? So once I'm finished carving a piece, I just put it inside. I carve all my pieces, I pop them inside, and when I'm ready, I just shake everything out over the trash, and I'm ready to display my pumpkin. I made it, actually, wow. So I put my pumpkin on a plate. It is a piece of food, after all. If I set it right on the concrete, concrete tends to wick the moisture away. If I put it on a plate, that'll help it last a little bit longer, like 2 or 3 days. In my booth, I light my pumpkins with electric lights and LED light bulbs because that's safer, more energy efficient. It's cooler inside the pumpkin. That'll help it last a little bit longer, 2 or 3 days. I even sell those little electric light kits that has the strand of light with the socket on the end and a little like a candle flicker bulb, so it like imitates the flicker of a candle. It's really fun. If you light your pumpkin with a candle, you know how it burns that little spot up on the inside? If you carve around that and take it out, that's like a chimney. And then the heat will go more up directly through the chimney than out through the carving. And that'll help your pumpkin last a little bit longer, 2 or 3 days. And the last thing is I don't just leave it out all night. I only display it as long as I'm enjoying it. It's like the other half of my sandwich that I want to eat tomorrow. I don't leave that out on the porch all night. So what do? Wrap it up in plastic, keep it somewhere cool. That'll help it last a little bit longer. 2 or 3 days. Good job. Well, the third and final secret of pumpkin carving, it goes like this. It has to do with gentleness and patience. The third secret is don't try too hard. It's a very gentle process. Don't try too hard. Let's say that together. Here we go. Don't try too hard. Good job, you guys. Who remembers what the first secret is? That's it. Carve in your lap. What's the second secret?
Straight up and down.
Straight up and down. And the third secret? Don't try too hard. Good job, everybody. Let me tell you a couple of quick stories before we go. When, let's see, my friend Jeff and I rewrote this little book called The Pumpkin Kid. It's a little, like, old world fairy tale, fable, about a boy in an 1880s village. He's a little orphan boy, and he carves up a bunch of pumpkins that were left over at the end of the harvest for his neighbors. He borrows tools from his neighbors, the blacksmith, the tailor, the wood carver, and he carves up these pumpkins for them and brings them back to their shacks and lights them up and projects these beautiful images on the walls. But it also starts to light up their hearts. It's a book about the light shining in the darkness. And there's something really special about that happens between the tailor and the boy at the end of the story. But I'd love for you to discover what that surprise is. The last story is when I was here for the first time in 2019 for the first Pumpkins in the City. There was one day it rained cats and dogs. I mean, hard rain all day long, rivers of water coming down these sidewalks. It was so wet they couldn't turn the electricity on in my booth. So there I was in my little dark booth with my little dark punkies, waiting for guests to come by in the rain. 2 guests came by, Mr. and Mrs. Hershend. Do you know the Hershends?
Yeah.
They created Silver Dollar City. Sort of a big deal they would come by in the rain to encourage us. That's like the light shining in the darkness, yeah? Well, Sherry came over and she said, would you carve a pumpkin for a friend of mine and put Matthew 5:16 on the bottom of the pumpkin? Does anybody remember what that verse is in the Bible? I had to look it up. It goes like this. Let your light so shine before others that they see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. I sure hope that's what all these pumpkins out here do tonight. I carved 700 of those pumpkins. I hope that's what this pumpkin does, and since I'm a pumpkin nerd, I think we're all pumpkins. We all have the light inside, yeah? Would you guys hold up your candles? Wave them around a little bit? Let's sing this song together. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Sing out, everybody. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Psalms 18 says, the Lord lights my candle and disperses my darkness. A pumpkin carving verse. Well, Silver Dollar City was rated #1 theme park in America by USA Today. There's adventure and thrill around every turn. So I invite you to be adventurous right now and turn to the person next to you, especially if you don't know them. That would be adventurous. And sing the song like this. That little light of yours, I love to see it shine. Everybody. That little light of yours, I love to see it shine. Be adventurous. That little light of yours, I love to see it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. So, my little punkies, that's the story of pumpkin carving. The light shining in the darkness. Thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions, I'll be back at my booth and I'm selling the tools and my book and all that stuff. And if not, I'll see you in line for funnel cakes, okay? Have a great night, everybody.
Alright. Just stay here a minute.
Yeah, well, we switch platforms.
Okay, so guys, if you're in here hanging out with us, if you take a second and subscribe to our channel, first of all, we appreciate it. Second of all, you'll catch us here in a minute. If you subscribe and ring that bell, you'll catch us here in a minute when I switch back to the platform that's much more cooperative with the gimbal. Meantime, next time, between now and the next time we go, I've got to figure out, because I know there is a way to do it in this portrait way, but I can't seem to recall. So anyway, like I said, if you're hanging out here with us, first of all, thank you for being here. If you wouldn't mind, go ahead and subscribing, and we'll see you in a few minutes on the other stream. Thanks so much, guys.